In this video, we're going to have some fun with fractions, and we're going to learn about them and know what they are, and eventually how we can add and subtract proper and then eventually improper fractions. But before we begin, this little short video is all on what a fraction is, what a proper fraction is, what an improper fraction is. Okay, so let's look at a fraction. First of all, fraction is part of something, a fraction of a whole. So if I have a pizza, I might eat a part of it or a fraction of the pizza. If I have a nice big chocolate bar, I might eat a fraction of it. I might eat like half of it. One part of the whole thing, which would be if there's two parts, then I'd eat one of the two parts, one half. So fraction is part. It's a part of a whole. And now, proper fraction means that you are dealing with just a part of the whole. You're not dealing with anything like a whole and then some more. You're dealing with just the part. So in a proper fraction, the top number is going to be smaller than this number. If you have a smaller number on top of a fraction, it's a proper fraction. Proper meaning, I would kind of say like it's the normal. When we're talking about fraction, it's the normal one. It's the most common. It's the part. That's how you're going to see most fractions. Every once in a while, you'll see something that has like the bigger number, the larger number is on top, like 8/5. When that happens, it's called improper. It's not the norm. You don't usually write fractions like this. You change this into become a whole number plus a proper fraction. Okay? So, let's talk about fraction just for a second, and then we'll talk about proper and improper. So, this is the part, or parts. So, in 4/5, it means I have 4 parts. I have 4 parts. This means how many parts make up the whole. So I know that the whole is going to be 5 parts. Every time I have 5 parts, I have a whole. I only have 4 parts. Do I have a whole? No. I have part of a whole. So, if we look at it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 equal parts. These are also equal. How many equal? So they're all the same size. So I have 5. If I have 5 equal parts, I can put them together and I get a whole, one whole. So on this one, I have 4 of them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't have that one. I don't have the whole thing yet. So I just have 4 parts of the 5, which makes up the whole. So 4/5 is this much. Now, if I would say this is like a candy bar, and the candy bar comes in 5 different squares. I eat 4 of the 5 candy squares, so I've eaten 4/5 of the candy bar, the one whole candy bar. And then I get a little hungry, and so then I come back, which I normally do, and eat that 5th square. Now I have eaten 5 parts of the 5 equal parts that make up the whole. So 5/5. Now that fraction, 5/5, is the same as 1, a whole. So 5/5 equals 1. Anytime you have the same number on top as on the bottom, like if you're adding things together and you get like 5/5, you'd say, oh, I got a whole there. I have a 1. And you can change that from a fraction to a whole number. It's no longer a part of anything. It is the whole thing. Okay? So, proper fractions. I'm going to move this 4/5 over here. And we know that that's a proper fraction. It's 5. The denominator, this is the denominator, the bottom number. The denominator tells you how many equal parts make up a whole. I need 5 parts to give me 1 whole. Top is how many parts I actually have, or how many if I'm thinking about candy bars and pizza, how much have I eaten? How much do I have? How much is present? So 4 of the 5, 4/5. Now, if I had 5 of the 5s, I'd have a whole. But I only have 4 of the 5ths. So I almost have done the whole thing, eaten the whole thing, have the whole thing. Now, if I come here and do 1/5, I need 5 parts to make it a whole. I've only eaten 1 of the parts, then I haven't eaten much. And as I get closer to the 5 out of 5, that's when you start to get closer to the whole. So when it's smaller here, you haven't eaten much, but here I've eaten almost the whole thing. Okay, 4/5. Proper fraction, smaller on top. Okay, smaller on top. Now, this one is larger on top. It's improper. We want to try and make this a proper. Well, it's going to actually become a mixed number, because within here, if I need 5, this is how many parts equal the whole. So say I got that candy bar again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is how many take 1 whole. This is how many parts if we're talking about the candy bar, how many parts I've eaten. I've eaten 8 parts of it. Well, I only have 5 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've eaten 5 parts, and I still have 3 more parts to eat. So let me put down another whole candy bar. 5 more parts. So I've eaten, here's 8. I need to put 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now I've shown how many parts, 8, again if we're talking about a candy bar, how many parts I've eaten. I've eaten 8 parts, and the whole, this bottom number tells me how many does it take to make up a whole, and it's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 1 whole, and on this one, 1, 2, 3, I haven't eaten the whole one here. So now we have a proper fraction with this. So I'm done with this whole candy bar. Now I just look at this. I've eaten 1, 2, 3 out of the how many total parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 1 whole and 3/5. I'm going to put this 1 whole, 3/5. It's a mixed number. This now is a proper fraction, which is the normal, and I have my whole number. Because it has a whole number and a fraction, it becomes mixed. But it's no longer improper. Okay? So, that's just a little bit about fractions and proper and improper.